Hi, thank you guys so much for having me today. It's great to be here. And yeah, just kind of going over some of your questions about the book. So first, talking about the section about fear and kind of what does that mean. So we all have it to a degree, whether you're in a salesperson role or whether you're in the sales manager role, or I'm sure even in like the C-suite level, like you all have, we'll all have fears that what if this doesn't go how I want? I mean, this is a sales environment. It is performance based, and we do have goals and metrics that we use, and it can be scary not being able to meet those metrics. But also, often we can really focus on the past and things that have already happened and times we've been burned, but also we'll kind of focus on the future and really things that we can't control because they're outcomes, they're results in a way. And so just trying to focus on, oh, what if I'm not going to hit my quota? What if that doesn't happen? What if I lose my job? What if I, as a sales manager, have these people who aren't hitting their quota? Am I going to fire them? Am I going to keep them? And it can really get you into this spiral of you are trying to react that something that we don't even know if it's going to happen or not. And this is a great time where you really need to understand what those fears are, because if you can learn what's driving you or what's starting to kind of creep up on you, then you can learn to look at it in the face, understand what the causes are, and then understand obviously where you don't want to be, because none of us want to be under our quota, and you only have a couple days left in the quarter. Like that would be very stressful. And so you can understand where you don't want to be and make your actions and a plan and a system that you can take to avoid that and focus on yourself, your team, and not be driven out of fear by some possibilities. And then kind of going on the next question, so detaching from the outcome. Now this can be a very tricky one because it's, in a way, it can be kind of like a twofold double-edged sword. Like we're supposed to coach our people to succeed, but often succeeding is tied to a metric, and often that metric is revenue. And as a sales manager, that metric is also tied to us as much as it is to them. Like if our people aren't hitting our numbers, it's not just a them problem; it's an us problem too. And so this is where it can get really tricky because if you are trying to help your salespeople for yourself to get your numbers better, or just to make them sell more, it's really not going to end up being effective. It's going to create this relationship that's almost transactional in the sense of, oh, like all they really care about is my numbers. And so if I hit my numbers, we have a good relationship. If I don't hit my numbers, we have a bad relationship, and I don't want to be around them because then they're just going to annoy me. And so that's where you really have to separate yourself, which is hard, of course, because you do want to succeed and you want them to succeed. However, you have to be willing to let go of control over the whole situation, trust in your salesperson, and really focus on them and not get quite as much into the like slap in the face of here are your numbers, you're not there, we need to get you there, and focus on the coaching role and like what are we doing, what are you feeling right now, is there anything that you need. And so that's really where the detaching numbers come, detaching from the outcome is not just focusing on the results. And then what things, going on to the next question, so some things that I found valuable from the active listening section are often it can be easy, kind of going back to those outcomes, to just focus on those and try to have this linear thinking process of, okay, point A to point B, or even a fixed pi method of there's a certain way we do this, and this is all we can do, and so just sell more, call more people, etc., and you'll hit your numbers kind of thing. And that really, in the day, active listening goes back to creativity, and you want to listen to your salespeople, even when you're in the coaching role. Often we can think of as like, oh, I'm the coach, I'm the one with all the knowledge and wisdom, I should be talking to them. But no, it's just as important to listen to them, to understand their needs, what they're feeling, and often they'll come up with great ideas that can help solve your solution, their personal solutions. And if you're just trying to hardline focus on those metrics, or you have a million thoughts going in your head, you're not going to be present in the conversation, and you're not going to be able to find those gems when your salespeople say them. And so that's a really important thing, is just to focus on being present, which really is an overarching theme in this whole chapter, is just being present in the moment, and focusing on what you can do now. And one of those things is active listening. And then becoming fully accountable. It can seem like everything is resting on you, and often that phrase can put a lot of weight on your shoulders, and that's what you end up feeling. However, what being fully accountable really is tying yourself to your metrics, or not quite your metrics, but tying yourself to your actions and progress as much as you tie your salespeople with. Going back to like detaching from the outcome, like of course it's important to focus on your salespeople, but also like they still do have a job, and they have to hit certain numbers, and so do we. And so that's where it's important to hold yourself responsible for what you put into your sales team, and also just as much as what they're getting out of it. Now, of course, that is a choice to them to a degree, but this is a crucial area where you need to put in everything that you can and find ways that you can hold yourself to that standard. Because if you expect that out of them, and that success and that work ethic and passion, then you also need to be willing to hold yourself accountable to that, and give your 100% while they're giving theirs. And thank you guys for having me. Great book club.